I never really know what to do with these games where I'm playing, because sometimes I don't really remember the game. Often if it's a game that I just kind of so easily win or so easily lose, I don't really remember it. It just kind of washes away. It's not very, it's always over so fast. So, I remember very few of my games with players like Descara and A-Game Anks, who just beat me all the time. I don't really remember the details of those games very well. Quicksilver, somebody who, back when he played a lot, would beat me all the time. And I don't really remember my games against players who I easily beat. It's just, again, the game is over so fast. But when there's an even game, I really remember that. So, while I don't remember 100% of the details in this game, I remember a little bit of what happened. And I remember kind of how it felt. I remember that the most.
Adjusting course.
So,
here and await orders. Clear to move.
We're going to watch this. This is Tren in the Soban.
Salvager online. LAV now available for production.
And this is me in the
Full
Galcian.
stop.
So, Soban versus Galcian, I think is a really cool matchup. And let's see what we're doing tech-wise.
CUs identified. Proceed to site.
Proceed to rally point.
Let's make some guesses, shall we? And we're going to see if I remember this game. Tren is Soban, and we're on Tight End Passage. He's almost certainly going to go Railguns. I am Galcian, and on Tight End Passage. And
Hold here and wait.
you would think I'm almost certainly going to go Railguns, but I'm actually going to go Assault Ships. And, this has worked really well for me on Tight End Passage, and it's also totally backfired for me on Tight End Passage. So,
Construction units depleted.
jury is still out on whether or not this is a good idea. But let's talk about the pros and cons. For one,
Vehicle.
major con. It means that you're not going railguns. And on Tight End Passage, when you've got these really big open areas, lots of low ground that you can,
Construction complete.
that you can scout in, railguns are awesome here. Even if you're in tight spaces like over here, assault railguns, awesome here. There's no reason to not have railguns in this map. So having assault ships, kind of a bad idea.
Available for production.
Pros. If you do a production cruiser assault ship rush, you can kind of just waltz right in here and annihilate resourcing. You can waltz over here and annihilate resourcing. The areas for resourcing on this map
Hostile unit marked.
are spread far apart, so it's hard for units to come and reinforce.
Enemy sand skimmer on approach.
They are kind of cramped, so it's hard for units to maneuver around and run away.
Skimmer on sensors.
And
Enemy
assault
sand
ships,
skimmer
I
on
have found,
approach.
can be
Base
incredibly
runner taking
powerful
enemy fire.
for that reason. Also, it's a big wide open map, and railguns are favored, so being able to build interceptors to counter railguns and be able to cover vast distances across the map, really
Enemy
powerful.
contact on sensors.
On our way.
Also pro, it lets you build siege cruisers. Lets you build honor guard cruisers. This is one of the few maps where honor guard cruisers can really work,
Modules disarmed.
because there aren't many little line of sight obstructions. There's just big, huge arcs of fire, and lots of ways to scout. So, you get a little scout behind over here, behind that dune, enemy group of railguns here, honor guard cruiser right over here. Pew,
We're
dead.
moving up.
Won't even see it coming.
Ready orders.
Now, Tren predictably is getting railgun fabrication.
Destination set.
It's very good for Tren. I am not rushing with the production cruiser, and this is, again, I don't remember all the details of the game, but I remember how I feel about the game. And how I feel about the game is that I was not nearly aggressive enough. Why is my production cruiser here? I don't have refinery
Sector
mode.
identified.
There's no good reason for me to be here, and now I've been scouted.
New fabrication facilities now operational.
Green line confirmed.
Enemy contact on the board.
Artifact extraction in
Here's another production cruiser, so that's neat. Maybe I'll go and attack with these. I don't actually remember if I did or not. But I also have interceptors, so that's cool. This is one of those pros I talked about. I actually forgot that I got interceptors in this game, but that will definitely allow me
Copy. Go
to
ahead.
deal with Tren's railguns.
Railgun assembly complete. Carrier weapon systems offline. Arming logistics modules.
So I'm afraid this game, because I did not go balls to the wall, super aggression, is like not that exciting. I think if I had had these two assault ships like right there when these railguns popped out, the game would have changed a little bit. Killing units one at a time as they pop out is a great way to totally turn a fight in your favor. Now, Tren, wisely, building an anti-air turret post here because he saw that I had assault ships, so duh, what am I going to have next? Interceptors. What am I building? Interceptors. This is one of those things where scouting just really helps, and it's not just scouting and seeing what's there, it's seeing what is going to be there. If you scout and you see nothing, you might be thinking, great, they're building interceptors, they've got carrier power. Think of all the things they could have that still look like they have nothing. Tren in this case is seeing, great, he has assault ships, that means I need anti-air.
Hostile contact marked.
It's kind of obvious when it's explained like that, but the ability to quickly make those decisions is definitely what separates players like Tren from, well, from, I guess, players who aren't like Tren, who aren't making that decision. I know there's a lot of people who do that all the time, so I don't really know what group I was going for there, but
Hostile armor on the board. LAV
in any case,
effective fire.
turns out that 7 LEVs and 3 railguns beat 1 assault ship,
Contact marked.
so I will lose that engagement.
We gotta go. Move order.
Turns out that an anti-air turret is pretty good against interceptors, and interceptors are like, okay, I guess railguns.
On our way.
Railgun
Also, I think these
destroyed.
LAVs were firing at the interceptor.
Enemy
Little known
contact
fact
on the
that
board.
LAVs do have anti-air capability. They can shoot up.
Hostile armor on approach.
Green line confirmed.
So, I do have production cruiser refinery mode, moving forward with my carrier, gonna try and get a little more control over this extraction zone.
Contact.
And I'm also grabbing this artifact here, applying some artifact pressure. Tren, meanwhile, has already applied more pressure, and is now going to get a little more serious with railgun production, I think.
Enemy armor inbound. Enemy contact on sensors. Salvager taking hostile fire.
Spectrum analysis has identified an artifact.
And with the 2 railguns here, that's gonna totally shut down this assault ship, probably.
Hammer, get us over there.
Combined with that
Artifact
ALM.
extraction in progress. Enemy forces have acquired an artifact.
Coordinates confirmed.
Light attack vehicle under fire.
New coordinates verified.
So, now I am doing what I probably should have done, and I'm getting railgun fabrication. I did not rush with the assault ships, so I sort of negated 1 pro of them. I also built them, which negates the real advantage of interceptors, which is that you can build like 7 of them before your enemy even knows you have them. So by showing my cards with assault ships, I really made a big mistake here. Let Tren build that
Enemy
AA.
signature identified.
I'm not really proud of
Enemy
that.
sand skimmer on approach.
But I'm gonna get railguns. This will be a little bit better.
Coordinates confirmed. Set new heading.
And economy-wise, I'm doing way better than Tren.
Hostile
He's
unit
on
lost.
1 base,
Carrier here.
with remote mining on another one.
Salvager copy.
I've got 2 bases, and I'm gonna be getting on 3 full bases. So
Hostile strike craft eliminated.
Artifact recovered.
that is looking up. On the other hand, Tren's kind of read everything that I'm doing. I kind of can't build more aircraft because there's all this anti-air. He's got way more units. The assault ships are kind of useless, and this is a tough position to be in, right?
Destination set.
At the very least, I've got a lot of upside potential,
Powered engines.
Armored
especially with these
assault ready
railguns
for
coming out. So
assembly.
we'll see in these coming fights how that plays out. I'm getting a little bit more strike craft accumulated. Hopefully going to try and deal with these LAVs and maybe apply pressure to the railguns. It will be tough, though,
Enemy
because I really have to be able to
skimmer on approach.
overwhelm this group
Artifact
first.
location
And right now,
verified.
I still don't even really have the numbers. I do have assault
Hostile
ships,
unit
but
marked.
they're standing home on guard.
Enemy signature identified.
Maybe it would have been better to use one of these more aggressively. Hard to say.
Enemy sighted.
Resource units exhausted. Artifact extraction in progress.
That area with the turret.
Enemy contact
Tren's gonna
on the
keep
board.
grabbing artifacts. He's gonna keep placing turrets.
Support
AA
Enemy
turrets because he's
contact on
Soban. He doesn't have regular
Green line
turrets.
confirmed.
Hostile sand skimmer on sensors.
Move order confirmed.
We have new bearing on hostile target. LAV taking effective fire.
So here's the defense. Look at all the LAVs that are being damaged
Enemy
simultaneously
sand
by
skimmer
this
on
assault ship. Now, these LAVs do have a high ground bonus, so they're able to
LAV destroyed.
damage this unarmor upgraded assault ship. But the assault ship can push away the LAVs in time for that assault ship to repair. So, overall favorable engagement. I do have sand skimmers now, I missed that approach, sorry, in Tren's railgun line.
Railgun has been lost.
And I'm going to clean up quite a few of them. His LAVs are taken out. He does not have any units here, no AAVs or anything like that defending the railguns. And why am I retreating? I should have killed those and then killed that and killed that. And instead I went back and said, okay, I'm going to kill the turret, try and take out the base runner, whatever. I don't know. I don't really know what I did there. Wasn't wise. Given how damaged these LAVs are, I probably could just kill all these units right now. So let's do it.
Hostile contact on the board.
Reposition.
Right? Like, come on.
Hostile sand skimmer on sensor.
I've even got a heavy railgun here now to provide supporting fire.
Construction units depleted.
Take out some of these LAVs, take out some of the railguns. You know?
An LAV has been lost. Light attack vehicle under fire.
Move order confirmed.
Artifact coordinates locked.
Lay down some counterfire. Board's green. Reposition.
Hostile
Now that said, I
strike
probably
box
hesitated
destroyed.
more than I should have. But,
Railgun destroyed. Railgun
We'll see.
under fire.
some railguns will go down. Some LAVs will probably go down, but a lot of these sand skimmers are dying too. And they have high ground bonuses. A lot of the railguns have been able to fire
Set
successfully.
new heading.
So this doesn't look super great for me again. My military is still suffering. I do have some
Enemy sand skimmer
interceptors.
on approach.
The AA is still a potential issue.
Tracking enemy target.
It'd be really nice if I could get control of this hill right
Forces are
here.
pursuing an artifact. Be advised, hostile forces
And this is the sense in which you can see Tren's economy just isn't quite keeping up.
Artifact identified. Move out.
But at the same time, he's being quite defensive and just having a nice nice posture here, nice positioning. And I'm not really fighting the fights as well, so that's why, despite having the weaker economy, Tren has the stronger map position, controlling that middle zone, controlling the artifacts, and is up, by the way, at 4 artifacts. So here come my interceptors. They're going to try and do some damage. They're going to be hit by this AA battery. That stinks. Got a base runner that's just going to die.
Alert! Hostile strike fighter overhead.
I did try to micro my fighters away from the A turret, but I didn't realize this one was here. So,
Enemy strike
a couple
fighter
interceptors go
neutralized.
down. It's a bummer. Man, you know, when you look at a game in retrospect, you always see the things you could do better. Like right now, these sand skimmers. Kill these LAVs.
Strike copies.
Kill this ALM. Kill this turret. Kill these railguns.
On our way. Systems online.
There's AAVs here, but they're not
Enemy
right
contact
there.
on sensors.
Carrier could probably move in right now and take care of those
Hostile
railguns, no
sand skimmer on
problem.
Green
sensors.
line confirmed.
Enemy sand skimmer on approach.
I think it'll happen soon, but this just hasn't
Armor
happened
unit
yet.
Lost. Railgun engaging enemy units.
Artifact extraction in progress.
What is going on here, man? These sand skimmers are so ineffective right now. They're just wandering around, shooting pot shots at armored railguns.
Threat marked on sensors. Enemy railgun firing on
Now,
friendly.
here's more of a railgun engagement, but
Move order confirmed.
Hostile sand
there
skimmer
aren't
on
really
sensors.
enough railguns here to do enough damage. These railguns still have a high ground bonus. And the carrier's not fighting. Look how much carrier power I've got.
Enemy sand skimmer
I've
on
got power
approach.
reserve 3. This carrier really should be up in here. There are not enough railguns here to push away that carrier. Now, there are here, but these weren't here a second ago. This carrier, absolutely, for the last few minutes, should have been right here, blasting all these down, capturing that position, denying the artifact capture zones, and allowing a buildup of railguns behind it.
Hostile contact marked.
That, I think, is probably the biggest error in my game so far here, and is what's allowing Tren to have such a dominant map position, is, you know, beyond just building assault ships and not really doing anything with them, just kind of stupid, whatever. Not using the advantage of the carrier. I criticize other players for doing it all the time, and I'm going to criticize myself for not doing it right now. Now, Tren has way too many railguns for me to use the carrier. This thing's just going to die if I try to run it in here. But, you know, with power and range like that and weapons, it could have done a whole lot
Enemy signature
before.
identified.
So now, Tren's bringing 2 artifacts into the extraction zone. I have no choice, really, but to bring all the units I have and try and deny that, because he'll just win otherwise. And
Sand skimmer on sensors.
trying to lose one base runner. But meanwhile, he's forcing this fight,
Railgun
and
destroyed. Railgun under fire.
it's not a fight that's going to go well for me. I'm not building enough railguns, and
Coordinates
I don't really know why. Let's check out the resources.
Hostile strike
No,
craft
because I'm floating
eliminated.
tons of resources. So even though I have the superior economy, it is not being used. So these are all the same things that I criticize people for, and this is what I'll say about the game.
Enemy
I played like shit.
Sensor post under fire.
Set new heading.
Tren played a measured, reasonable game, but, you
Hostile
know,
railgun has opened fire.
it honestly wasn't the craziest, best game Tren ever played. I think on a good day, I could beat this build. Or at the very least, I could beat this build the way Tren played it, for sure, right? Quite truthfully, I hadn't played Tren in a while, haven't beaten Tren in a while, and I used to go trading with Tren a little bit more than I do now. And so what I want to talk about just for a minute at the close of this game, and at the close of round 5 of Artifact Cup 30, is the psychological factor, because sometimes I think I have this effect on some other players too. I was quite frankly just kind of intimidated. I had a build in mind, the assault ship rush, and then I second guessed myself and didn't do it. I didn't remember to build things, right? I didn't attack when I actually, in retrospect, was in a strong position to do so. I didn't take advantage of the fact that I had a stronger economy. I didn't really scout it. I just sort of assumed, oh, Tren's ahead, Tren's better, you know, whatever, right? And this is a bad idea. This is just, you gotta not do that. I need to not do that, obviously. And I say this to the viewers in general, because many times I'll start in an Artifact game with somebody, and the first thing that they say is, oh my gosh, I'm doomed. I have to play Majiir. You know, this is not going to be much of a game. And it's like, you know what? If that's the attitude that you bring into the game, if that's what you're going to bring to the table, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But really, we saw many points in this game where I totally could have done better, right? I'm sitting here saying, you know, just as I'm watching the game, come on, do this, do this, do this, right? But I'm the guy who wasn't doing those things. I just had a sloppy, crappy game. So the psychological factor is real. Be aware of it. Try to beat it. And you know what? Remember, there's not a huge difference between you and a much better player who beats you consistently. You know, it's like a 10 or 20% difference in skill, really. It's just they're a little bit faster, a little bit better at doing little basic things like research and resourcing and moving their units around. And that little edge that they get by, you know, moving their units onto the high ground lets them win battles. And it's just that 10 or 20% advantage that stacks throughout the whole game to end in overwhelming victory like this, right? But look at this. Tren's got 14 railguns on the field, but there was a point where he had like 2 or 3 over here, and I could have gone and killed them with LAVs. Possibly. Excuse me, not LAVs. Sand skimmers. Definitely couldn't have killed them with LAVs. Anyway, enough talking from me. Thank you for watching. We have now finished round 5. So we got 4 more rounds. We're beyond the halfway point. This will be easy. Stay tuned for more.